beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. I'm Paige, this is Seeking Alexandria, and guys, today's video is a little bit different. I was looking back on my channel and I realized that in the last month or so, there really hasn't been anything that was just like strict, full face, drugstore, like either what I'm loving or new drugstore or anything like that. I'm like, man, we just really haven't focused on some good drugstore loving, and I really feel like we need to just tango with it a little bit. So I put together this video, and this is going to be newer releases from the drugstore that I have really been enjoying, and some of these things you've seen me use 1,000 times, and some of them you haven't seen me use hardly at all, and I thought this would be a good opportunity or time to sit down and just talk to you guys about what I'm liking, how I like to use it, and just, I don't know, play around with drugstore. So if that's something that you're into and you want to see what I like from the drugstore, by all means keep watching, and let's go ahead and dive right in. I'm actually going to be doing my makeup a little different today. I'm going to do the Scott Barnes method, so it's going to be concealer, a little contour, and then a little bit of foundation, and we're going to go that route instead of all over foundation. So let's go ahead and prep the skin with a primer. Now this is the e.l.f. Jelly Pop Dew Primer, and this primer is actually really nice. It reminds me a lot of the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. They have a very similar kind of gooey consistency. Now I do focus this primer near the center of my skin because I'm more on the normal to oily side, and in this region, like right through here, is where I have a difficult time getting my foundation to really stick, and it does do a nice job, especially for the drugstore, at keeping things in place a lot longer, and it's not as grippy as the Hydro Grip. So if you don't like how aggressively that one can cling to things, this one is a lot softer version of that, and it also does a nice job of lightly filling in the pores as long as you kind of work with it a little bit. For concealer, I'm going to grab the CoverGirl True Blend Undercover Concealer. This is in the shade L100, and I've actually used this quite a few times on my channel as of late, and this is a really nice concealer. It has the same consistency, spreadability, and I would say like immediate coverage as the Tarte Shape Tape, which is amazing. Like, this is the closest thing as far as feel, application, and all of that that I have found to Tarte Shape Tape. The only difference for me is that this one doesn't give me the same, I would say, type of dry down and matteness that the Tarte Shape Tape one does, but this one does work really nicely. I think I've used almost the entire tube at this point, at least 2/3 of it, and it's a good concealer. It blends really, really nicely. For contour, I'm going to be using this. This is the Catrice Triangle Artist Contour Stick, and I have talked about this one several times on my channel. Mine is like super duper messy, but this is an incredible creamy formula. If you are looking for something at the drugstore that will give you a nice dry down, I would say kind of a light matte consistency to it. The only downside to this is that as of current, Catrice has not done a good job at doing an inclusive shade range, so this is the only shade that they have. Just like, look at how nicely that applies. Like, I'm really impressed with the blendability of this product. I think it does a really nice job shaping out the face, and it has this creaminess to it where it's creamy, but it's not overly creamy. Like, when you are using the stick, it doesn't feel like it's just gonna mush together in your hand. Like, the product itself has a little bit of stiffness to it, but then when you go to blend it out, it blends out really nicely. To go in and do the rest of the face, I'm going to grab the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Hydrate. I did do a full review on this. I will link it up here. Now, out of all the foundations I have tried, this one continues to impress me with the level of coverage and wearability that it has. It's had very, very mixed reviews. Myself, personally, I have really liked this all the times that I have worn it. I do notice a couple things about it here and there that I'm not a fan of, but as I mix it with other products, I feel like it works really nicely, and when you do this method, the Scott Barnes style method of makeup, you can literally go in and do your entire face with one pump, and it looks really nice. For me, using it in this video, it was just the perfect choice because, first of all, the way it settles onto my skin, it is stunning. It is incredibly lightweight, and the coverage that I get is outstanding. Now, I don't recommend overly setting this product and like overly manipulating it because that doesn't help it at all. It likes to be more of a standalone product. The concealer for me wasn't my favorite, obviously, or I would have used it in this video, but the foundation I've just been really, really impressed with, and I was like, yes, it needs to go in this video. And just look at it. Oh my god, it looks so good. Sorry guys, this is not good enough. This is not good enough. You need to see it up close. You need to see the magic. I mean, just look at my skin. Like, is that not just so insanely flawless? It looks so nice. I haven't even went in with powder, and it looks so smooth. The coverage is amazing, and the amount of product on my face, which is my favorite thing about all of these products, is I'm not wearing hardly anything, and it just looks, it looks like I'm full beat right now. hello, it's perfect. Now, as of lately, I feel like my skin's been going through a little bit of a shift. I've mentioned this several times, but I'm definitely not as oily like over my cheek region. They don't require as much setting. So I've been playing around with this new way of doing my makeup, so bear with me. But I'm actually going to take this Wet n Wild Photo Focus translucent powder here, and I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that and dump it all over everything in front of me. Great. I'm going to go ahead and re-pat out the creases on my under eye, because y'all know I am the creasiest lady this side of the Mississippi. I'm going to pack that Wet n Wild powder under my eye and bake with it under there. Do the same thing up on the Hulk wrinkle right there, that big old crease. Girl, yeah, we have to bake that just a little bit, otherwise she gets real cranky. Then I'm also going to run it down the T-zone, so just buff it onto my nose and then through my smile lines as well. What I like about this powder is that it reminds me of a drugstore version of like the Jeffree Star powder, the Fenty powder, any of those really, really finely milled powders. This reminds me a lot of that. And it really does carry with it a lot of pigment, so it helps to brighten up that under eye too. And just like, honey, anytime you can brighten my under eye, I'm sold, because I always look real tired. Also, my eyes are leaking so bad right now for literally no reason, so don't mind me. Now, next up is something I have talked to you guys about. It's been a while since I mentioned it, but the NYX Bare with Me Cheek Tints, these are so, so good. I have them in 2 colors. This one is Detox Me, and this one is Do Me Right, and these are so, so beautiful. It gives this nice, healthy, glowy look to your cheek. Just both so, so stunning. I think for today, I'm gonna go in with this one. I have other blushes I'm gonna use over top of it, so you won't really see it, but I want to show it to you guys and kind of demo it, just so you guys can see the cuteness. So I'm just gonna take my little beauty sponge here, and I like to do it this way, that way it never lifts foundation or anything on my cheek. So I just take it on the butt of my little blender here, and I lightly kind of pop it on this area. And it's just so pretty. It's like the lightest amount of color, and just the way that it looks on your skin, it makes you look so healthy and so vibrant, and I just really love it. So now it's time for brows, and I'm going to go in with this little ditty right here. This is the CoverGirl Ultra Fine Brow Pencil in 710 Soft Brown. And actually what I like about this pencil and the formula is that it has a light, waxy consistency to it. And for anybody that knows me or has seen my channel from the very beginning, I do not typically like a waxy brow pencil. I think if it's too waxy, you have to press too hard. It's very brittle, they break more for me. But this pencil has the perfect amount of wax to it where it glides on really nicely, and the pigmentation is very soft in color. It glides through my brows so, so nicely. All right, beautiful people, now we're gonna go ahead and add the rest of my face products. And next up is bronzer. And if you do not know what bronzer I'm about to use, honey child, where have you been? Because oh my word, the one, the only Brilliance bronzer from BH Cosmetics. This stuff is so, so good. Like, look at how much I've used. I've hit pan, a big old spot where I have hit pan. You guys, this bronzer is amazing. It's my favorite bronzer. There's just something about the warmth that you get from this bronzer and the way that it applies to the skin. It is just so freaking gorgeous. Now for blush, I'm going to grab these little guys here from Revlon. These are the new shades. This is Apricot and Very Berry. Very Berry is such a beautiful maroon shade. Just overall, this is a big hitter for me. Eyes, cheek, doesn't matter. And then Apricot is the most cute, aptly named shade of them all. It is such a nice light toned color, but the way that it applies, it's like a nice kind of flushy but better cheek feel. Powders of these are both just so nice and refined and light feeling on your skin. I'm going in with Apricot today, and just look at that color. Like, it's nice, it's light, but it's so airy at the same time. Now next up, you guys know I love a finishing powder. I love to take a powder and just veil my whole face, and one of my all-time favorites to do that with is Hourglass. And obviously Hourglass is not a drugstore brand. Holy wow, is it not a drugstore brand. And so to fill that little spot in my drugstore love and life here, I have been taking this from Pixie Beauty. This is their Flawless Finishing Powder in the shade Zero Translucent, and this is a beautiful powder to buff everything into your skin. And you can really see a difference too. Like, this side has no finishing powder and this side has been diffused with it, and it looks so much more like gradiated and blended and put together. And this side is nice if you like a more intense kind of bam, cheek defined moment, which for me I love. But lately I've been a lot more into like softer base makeup, so going in with a powder like this and just buffing it into the skin is just, it makes all the difference in the world. Now while I go in and do the rest of the face here, I'm just going to grab a little bit of the Wet n Wild powder I'm gonna pop that right down here, just a tiny bit to cut that area a little bit. I don't like it to be like super harsh and defined, but I do like it to have just a little bit more definition. Now that we're done with powder on the northern region of the face, we're gonna go ahead and set the brows, and this is the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Boost and Set Mascara, and I use this in the shade Dark Brunette. And what I like about this stuff is actually the way that the wand is so tiny, because it really makes it easy for me to get in there and define every single brow hair. And as somebody who has like little to no brow hairs, girl, I gotta make every single little wispy hair count, and this just does such a fantastic job at getting in there and getting every single one, and it lifts them, makes them nice and fluffy. I love the color. I'm gonna go ahead here and just remove this bake really quick like, and you can see it gives me just the lightest amount of definition without being too much. Ooh, looks so good. Okay, beautiful people, now it is time to move on to eyeshadow, and your girl actually had this really pretty eye look in mind. The palette I picked out is super colorful. I'm talking about none other than the NYX Swear By It palette. You guys, this is actually a really beautiful palette. I feel like it can do so much. I'm just going ahead with that CoverGirl concealer that we used in the beginning of the video, and I am using that to prime my lids real quick. Now going in first here, I'm going to grab my Morphe JH36, and I'm going to go into this yellow shade right here. I'm going to pop that right on the inner area of the eye, and I'm not going to take this too far over. I'm mainly going to work it like this inner third right here. This is actually one of my favorite yellows in a palette. I just think it is so beautiful, and the way that it builds up on the lid, it just has such a nice undertone to it. Like, oh, so good. With the same brush, we're going to dive into this orangey yellow right here. We are going to park that right next to the yellow and carry it into the middle third of the eye right here, and I'm going to blend it up toward the brow bone, but I don't want to carry it over too far. Now, just as a fun little unexpected pop, same brush, we're going to grab this really pretty plummy purple right here. We're going to park that on the outer portion of the eye. Guys, is that not so satisfying? Look at the gradient and the blend, yellow to orange to purple. Oh, it's so good. It like sends me. Like, this is one of my favorite color combinations ever. Now, on the lower lash line, I'm just throwing a little bit of that purple. I don't want it to be too much. I just want it to blend down nicely so it kind of matches the upper part of the lid. Now, inner portion of the eye, I'm just going to grab the yellow down here and flick it in towards that purple and basically just recreate what I did on the upper portion up in the crease and use the orange to marry those two colors together there on the lower lash line. Just look at that. Oh my god, so pretty. Now, real quick, I'm grabbing my Too Faced glitter glue just because it's the one that I have open and in front of me. But you guys, if you want to try glitter glue and you want to try this method, just please go out and buy the NYX glitter glue. It is like $4 or $5 and it's so good. But again, Too Faced is the one that I have open and in front of me right now. And I'm just going to take and pop the glitter glue here all over the mobile lid. And then I'm going to go in with this really beautiful yellow shiny shade. Just taking that and then popping it up through high into the crease and just blending it in with that yellow matte shade and then pulling it back. Like, look at how beautiful that is. I love this yellow. Then I'm going to take just a little bit of this shade right here. It's another shimmer shade, and I'm just going to lightly tap that color back here and just use it to kind of fade out the yellow. I'm just going in and I am tight lining my upper lash line here with the Wet n Wild, what is this, the skinny or ultra skinny tip eyeliner. This thing is so good if you like an ultra precise little tip. Taking it and running it right along my lash line here, just for a little definition. Okay guys, so now it is time to tightline my upper and lower lashes, and I cannot find for the life of me the product I am looking for. It's the Maybelline Lasting Drama eye pencils. I have it in black and white, and it's one of my favorite gel liners, and I cannot find it anywhere. I just spent 15 minutes looking, and it is driving me absolutely cuckoo bananas that I can't find it, because the white one was right there. It's no longer there, and the black one was literally right in front of me yesterday. So I don't know where they went, but that's the one that I wanted to use. This went ahead and I popped that on the upper and lower water lines, and I really love the way that whole look came together. It's really like soft and diffused up top, and then like bam, searing little eyeballs, and I like to have searing little eyeballs. All right, so now with all of that done, I went ahead and I moved you guys back out so we can go ahead and finish up the rest of the face. And from here, we're going to go ahead and spray the face, and this is a product I've talked about so many times. I really enjoy it, the NYX Bare With Me spray, and this is a really beautiful setting spray for many reasons. Number one, I love the wetness, like the consistency of it is really really nice at pressing all my powders and all my layers together for my skin without anything looking too thick or cakey, or without feeling like I'm spraying it with a garden hose. Like, it's a really nice in-between, good amount of wetness, but not too much. And what's really beautiful about this is that it's meant to have a little bit of radiance to it, like not be completely matte, but also not be dewy. And this is the most subtle amount of light radiance. This is by far one of my favorite steps to go in with and spray the face before I highlight. Okay guys, so now it's time for highlight. And if you do not know my favorite highlight, you haven't been here for longer than 12 seconds, because I literally never shut up about it. This is the Rach Loves Pixie palette. This is just like, I've talked about this in favorites. I've used it in literally every video that you've seen of mine in like the last, I don't know, 3 or 4 months, because it is so, so good. The way it applies to the skin, it is beautiful. It is blinding. You can wear it on your eyes, cheeks. There's multiple colors in here. Like, you can do so much with this palette. And I'm going to go into Clutch, which is the larger light pan right there. And I like to start off with just a light dusting of that over my cheek here. Like, just look at that, first of all. Bam. So good. Then after I am done applying it to both of my cheekle regions there, oh, it's so good, I like to go ahead and apply it to my other regions as well. So a little bit on the forehead, above the brow bones, just a little bit. Nose, bridge of the nose, onto the Cupid's bow, and then my chalupa chin. That's right. Hashtag chalupa chin. Still going strong. Can't hate. And then from there, I like to go in. I'll give myself one more spray of the Nyx Bare with me. All right, now if you are also like me and you like to have a spray that really locks everything in, kind of like your Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray, I have a dupe for you. Girl, it is so, so good. The Maybelline Lasting Fix Spray, it's just amazing. The price point, again, drugstore version, so, so good. So I'm going to go ahead and coat my face in this. Now next up for mascara, this is actually something I don't think I've talked about at all on my channel. This is the Makeup Revolution The Mascara. It's either The Mascara or The Mascara Revolution. And basically what this is a really, really thick, intense mascara. And guys, this mascara reminds me so, so much of the Too Faced Damn Girl mascara. Like, it is insane. Everything from application, it has like that really thick kind of goopy feel to it. But this one works so much better for me. There is only one caveat to this mascara, and that is that throughout the day, I do notice it kind of flaking off, similar to the It Cosmetics Superhero Mascara. That one also flakes off on me. What I like to do actually is take this mascara and I apply it to my lashes like normal. I get them nice and built up and voluminous, and then over top of that I will apply a little layer of this guy. This is the Revlon So Fierce mascara, and by itself this one literally does nothing for me, but applying it over top of this one definitely helps stop some of that flakiness, and this one on the lower lash line by itself looks absolutely fantastic. So if you do pick this mascara up, it will probably behoove you to really clean off the wand. I think that that's something a lot of people don't keep in mind when you're dealing with like a thicker, goopier mascara. Now with this one, because you do have to go in and remove the mascara off of the wand, it can get a little bit messy and a little bit goopy at the top of it. Very similar again to the Too Faced Damn Girl mascara. But for me, I really do think that it's worth it to work with, because it just applies so, so nicely, and it has this nice deep black color to it. It just makes my lashes look so nice and large, and it looks like I'm wearing like a chunky kind of false lash. That's the kind of vibe that I get. And then just going in with the Revlon mascara and applying a nice little light coat over top of it, I feel like it really does just seal it in. And then throwing that on the lower lash line as well gives me like a nice light defined lower lash line. Now next up for lips, I have a couple of different ones to mention to you. The first one is this right here. This is the Revlon Ultra HD Vinyl Lip Polish. This is so, so beautiful. This to me is where like a cream lipstick meets a gloss. Like, it's beautiful, it's glossy, it is so juicy, but the color and the pigmentation is just 100%, and it looks so, so nice. These are my two favorite shades. This one is Birthday Suit and this one is Date Night. And then the other item I've been loving is actually the e.l.f. Jelly Pop Juicy Gloss. For me, the only downside to these glosses, I think there's 3 or 4 shades of them, is that they all look very, very similar when you swatch them. So I pulled this shade for today, which is the shade Cherry Pop. Here she is right here. Very light. The color pigmentation isn't that intense. So again, they all look very similar. So in my opinion, you only need one of them and you have them all. For today, oh, look at that. Oh yeah, going in with Date Night from Revlon. It is so, so beautiful. Oh my God. Now a tip that I will give you with this particular product is that it can go on and feel a little bit thick and a little heavy on the lips. So what I like to do is I'll actually take my finger and I'll run it along on the inside just to remove excess, or you can do the typical pull it out, and then all of that right there is kind of the inner ring on like the butthole lip region of your lips. And for me, removing that little bit of excess in there makes it completely wearable. And again, I have wore these so many times. I've talked about them in several videos. They're nothing new, but I just love, 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 love the way that they apply to the lips. And just for fun here, I'll grab a little bit of the e.l.f. gloss on my finger. Just look at the added shine, like, oh my god. And all right, beautiful people, that is it. That's the end of the video. I hope that this was fun and helpful for you guys. I love the way that the makeup turned out. I think the way everything is blended and buffed, my skin just looks fantastic right now. I am loving it. And even if all I have to do is go to the grocery store, so what? Like, I'm gonna be the most beautiful, fabulous looking creature that place has ever seen, honey. I am loving this makeup. Whew. But per usual, I want to hear from you guys down below. First of all, the video. Do you like it? Do you not? What are your thoughts and opinions? Leave all of that down there. But I have a little bit more homework for you as well today, because I want you to leave me, first of all, your favorite drugstore products. I don't care if they're new, old, whatever. I just want to hear from you on that end. And then if there's anything that's newer to the drugstore that you maybe have tried and you're obsessed with, or that you haven't tried and you're curious about, drop that down there as well. And more importantly than anything, you guys can subscribe and turn on your post notifications to this here YouTube channel. I do upload 5 videos a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and they go up bright and early between 6 and 7 a.m. my time here in Northern Michigan. But you guys, that is it. Thank you all so much for watching. Please do not forget to have a great day, night, weekend, whatever it is when you're watching this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Ladies, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys. That's not how that song goes. Now, next up, this is something that I've been talking about for why it looks so good right now. I just looked at my viewfinder and I was like, oh, she kind of scared me a little bit. Pokemon, ooh, you're my best friend. And if you do not know, okay. And if you do, I hope, okay, oh my god. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Paige. This is, what is in, hello? Am I okay? I'm having a stroke. I feel like there's something in my eye. Ooh, time to get crack-a-lackin', 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 yeah.